Our first speaker this morning is a very special speaker, near and dear to our hearts, because he works for Dentaltown. He used to earn extra money in the summer as a Jim Croce lookalike, but then he went on to dental school and graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. We're honored to have him on the team at Dentaltown. He keeps peace on the message boards, and he directs our CE program, which under his leadership has unprecedented growth. He's the sheriff of Dentaltown and the mayor of Whiskeytown, Dr. Howard Goldstein.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Tom, I think. First off, I am not a public speaker. Being up here today is definitely not on my bucket list of things to do. No intention of speaking at all, but I was very gently told by a couple of people in the audience, who I'm not going to mention, Lori Marie, to be here. And I said, okay, fine. Well, I'm going to talk about Scotch whiskey for 18 minutes. They said, no, you're not talking about Scotch whiskey. So I'm going to talk about me. But luckily for you, it's not going to take the full 18 minutes, okay? As I said, I am not a public speaker. This is how this works? Okay, got it. I am a general dentist. I'm a general dentist. I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 1980. I did a general practice residency right out of school, and a year later, I was an associate, which only lasted 9 months. That's a whole other story I don't want to get into. I opened my practice 2 years after graduation at age 28. My first week, I saw 2 patients. But over the years, it grew into a very successful practice. By the way, these PowerPoint notes, you don't even have to look at them. Most speakers have them for the audience's sake. It's for me to know what I'm talking about next, okay? So don't even look at them, okay? Most of my career, I had zero interaction with other dentists. I mean, I went to CE courses locally. You know, I didn't even know if the speakers were going to be good or not. But I went there, and then I found out if they were good or not. I had no one to talk to. I didn't join the local dental society because they were involved in such nonsensical local dental politics. I had no interest in that. In the mid-1990s, a friend of mine, Tim Burke, became a dentist. Actually, in the 80s, he became a dentist. But we never talked dentistry. But he told me in the mid-1990s about CompuServe. I don't know how many of you remember CompuServe, but they had a little dental forum there. So I joined it, and there was about a dozen dentists from around the country on there. There's about 12 of them, and it was good though. I was able to ask them questions, and they, answer other questions, find out what was happening in other offices that I had no access to before, and I really liked that interaction. And because of this, I was able to do things I normally wouldn't do. As an example, in 1996, I made the decision for myself that I wanted to stop doing amalgams. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with doing amalgams. There are great dentists that do amalgams, there are great dentists that don't do amalgams. It just was a personal decision that had nothing to do with toxicity or anything like that. I just didn't want to do them anymore. And if you want to ask me at the break, I'll go into that, but that's not the purpose of this talk. But I didn't know how to stop doing amalgams. And through this forum, I got some interaction from some guys that had done that. And I was able to do things by asking. But after a while, I realized I needed to talk to more than 12 dentists. I wanted more interaction. And I was told by a couple of guys in there, hey, check out Generate Next and Dentaltown. And there are 2 bigger forums. And I said, I don't know. So finally, I joined, at a random, Generate Next. And I immediately got tons of spam. In my email box, it was just inundated with it. I couldn't deal with it. I somehow figured out how to get out of Generate Next, and I said, I'm not doing Dentaltown. It's going to be the exact same thing. But finally, I relented in 2003, and I joined Dentaltown. And I started out as a lurker. Now, I don't know if you know what lurkers are, but lurkers are people just read the posts. Don't post at all, but they just read them. And there's nothing wrong with that. You learn a lot from reading what other dentists are doing. I feel you get more out of interacting, but There was nothing wrong with lurking. But after a month or so, I finally decided to post. And I'm not proud of my first post. I basically told the nicest guy on Dental Town, Dan Covedo, to do something to himself that is pretty much anatomically impossible to do. Okay? And the post wasn't deleted or anything. There wasn't much moderation back then. But that's how I got started. But over time, I realized, okay, I shouldn't post that way. And over the next 10 years, everything I did about dentistry changed. Just techniques, products, everything changed. An example, I changed my composite materials because of posts I saw on Dental Town. That looks like a better composite material. Crown materials, I mean, I never even heard of Emax before Dental Town. Bonding agents, I found a new bonding agent that totally surpassed what I was using before. Matrix bands, Profi paste. I changed my practice management software that I was using for 10 years to a totally new one that I saw people recommend on Dental Town and it looked much better than it was. Intraoral camera. Then I switched to extraoral cameras after I got used to the intraoral camera. Curing lights, bleaching techniques. Occlusion, there was like so many different schools of thought on occlusion. There still is. But there's a couple of posters on downtown that just made sense to me, that just cleared through all the schools. And I should have took the lavalier mic. I'm moving my hand too much. That made sense and gave me a philosophy of occlusion that I could follow a lot better. I learned about NTIs, which I think were great. I learned how to market to patients better. My website, I found out what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong from posts on Dental Town. I learned how to fix them. Uh-oh. It's not moving. But when you press the right button, it does move. Okay. The two big ones were, however, Periolase and Cerac. I kept on, in 2006, I kept on seeing all these posts about LANAP. LANAP, what's a LANAP? So I went to the search bar at the top of Dental Town page, typed in LANAP, and all these threads came up. And I read them. And I learned what LANAP was. And in 6 months, I was in Cerritos, California, getting trained in how to do LANAP. And because of this, a lot of patients that I had ended up saving their teeth from not losing their teeth from periodontal disease. So I was glad I did that. 2007, I started seeing that the crowns people were posting from Cerac started to look like crowns now. They didn't look like hunks of white. They look good. And also, I saw this on a Cerac and a day thread on Dental Town. And I decided to learn how to get a Cerac and do it. I learned from many that posted on Dental Town just how to do it, like Samir Pure, Armin Mazayan, Todd Ehrlich, Mark McClure, who's talking here today, Mike Scramstad, Rich Rosenblatt. All these people I met through Dental Town were the ones that taught me how to do Cerac through extra training. That's another thing. A lot of practice management gurus, even Howard, will tell you these will not make you better dentists. They made dentistry fun for me. I mean, I practiced for 30 years, and I see posts on Downtown, unfortunately, by guys that have been in practice for 5 years, and they're burnt out. By constantly, to me, getting new toys, it kept my interest in 30 years for dentistry. And that's just me. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I needed that. The big thing, however, the most important thing I learned in downtown was running socks. I used to get blisters running, but somebody on Run Doc posted about these running socks, and I don't get blisters anymore. They have a double layer on them. And, I mean, I forget everything about dentistry. That was a great reason to be on Dental Town. The point is, there's a lot of other things besides dentistry. I mean, with over 200,000 members, you're going to find someone that's an expert on cars or speakers or headphones or guns or whatever you want to learn about. Somebody knows something about it. And you could learn a lot more about that. But getting back to my timeline, 2005, I became a moderator of the political forums to start out, and that was a joke. Luckily now the political forums are off the main board, so they're hidden. It's hard to find them. In 2006, Ken Scott and the IT team changed the format of the message board a little bit. This button was here instead of there. It was more green instead of blue. And people were posting on there like that, oh my God, this is horrible. This sucks. This is so much better before. And I just posted like, you're not going to even remember what it looks like a month from now. Well, let's just give it a month. And Does anybody remember what the old message board looked like? I don't. But apparently Lori Zalowski, the president of Downtown, liked my post because I woke up the next morning and I was an administrator. And she didn't ask me, she just made me one. But it's okay. And what an administrator is a moderator for all the forums. And I took that seriously. I wanted to make sure I was doing what was right, but I wanted to know what Lori and Howard's vision was better than I really had it. So I was doing what they wanted. So I kind of asked them, and I looked at their posts, and Lori posted, Howard just finished lecturing today. He just called me, and he said Dennis came up to speak with him at the break. The feedback he got was 100% in favor of what we are trying to do. They told him the attacks on certain forums have been out of control for some time now, and it will be a good thing to have rules enforced for those that are not respectful to other members. So that was pretty clear to me. They wanted more civilness, not much of the old wild, wild west where anything goes, or you could tell, like I started, more civil talk. Instead of saying, if you do something differently than another dentist, you say, okay, I do it a little bit differently. You don't say, I can't believe you graduated dental school. That's what used to be posted. Howard wrote, why should a member be allowed to make another member feel stupid for asking a question, making a statement, or posting a case? Again, it's not what you say, but how you say it that makes all the difference. All I ask is that you give opinions without attacking other members. The golden rule. Treat others like you want to be treated. My vision for Dentaltown for dentists and dental professionals from around the world is to be able to ask a question and get advice and assistance on a daily basis without feeling stupid or intimidated. Dentists, by and large, practice solo. I want Dentaltown to be the place to go where you don't have to practice solo. That means posting a question without fear of being ridiculed or attacked. So it was clear what my mission was. It was to help bring their vision to making Dentaltown a place where no personal attacks, civil debate, and so on. And I took it seriously. And I got some other administrators joined me, and we worked hard on that. And I think Downtown's a lot better place now because of that. But some people complained about censorship. Oh, you're censoring. It's not censorship. It's Howard Frayne always gives this analogy that he's having a party at his house, and everybody's having a nice discussion, and one person starts being rude to the other guests. He'll pull this person aside and say, hey, chill out. We're having a nice talk here. Let's not be so rude. If he keeps it up, 10 minutes later, Howard will pull him aside and say, hey, if you keep it up, you're going to have to leave. I'm sorry, but just talk nice. And then if he keeps it up another 10 minutes later, then he gets his ass kicked out of the place. So, they don't want it to be the Wild West anymore. They want it just civilized talk. Getting back once again to my personal timeline, in 2009, I was hired as the message board manager to help make these changes. So now I'm a full-time dentist, seeing patients, and between patients, running to the computer, and doing this work on Downtown, checking this out, and I'm getting Howard, Mrs. Jones is still waiting for her hygiene check in room 4. It's been 10 minutes now. Yeah, I know, I'm almost done. And that wasn't good. That wasn't good for my practice. So. And then in 2011, I became the director of continuing education, which was even more hours. So it's time for me to stop doing dentistry. So through Dentaltown, I went to the Dentaltown Classifieds, and I hired a great associate. He did the full-time, all the dentistry in my practice. About a year later, I realized, okay, so I've had this practice for 30 years. I've done dentistry for 30 years. It's time to sell the practice. So how do I sell a practice? Well, I read the posts of the best dental accountant on Downtown, Tim Lott, and the best dental attorney, Jason Wood. Hired both of them, went to Dentaltown Classifieds, I found someone to buy my practice, and through Dentaltown once again, everything worked out fine for me, selling the practice. I wouldn't have done it without Dentaltown. So what makes Dentaltown the best dental social media forum? Because there is other ones. Well, number one is the amount of members. Over 210,000 members and growing stronger every day. That's every country on the planet. You find someone from Dentaltown. You're not going to find that anywhere other forum, and nowhere even close. Number two, and I apologize to anyone that posts a lot on Facebook, but I go to Facebook every now and then and look at some of the forums there, and you see some pretty amazing cases. I mean, really beautiful work with the pink lipstick and the purple lipstick and the beautiful everything. But I always get the feeling it's like, look how awesome of a dentist I am. I mean, it seems to me that's what it's about. There's really no interaction with like, hey, how did you do that? Or What could we do better? I mean, downtown, you can even post a bad case and people will tell you, hey, you can ask, how do I do this better? There's more learning on downtown. I don't think there's much learning on Facebook as much. And number 3, that great case you see on Facebook, you're not going to see it a week from now because it's scrolled down somewhere else. It's gone. On downtown, you can go to the Restorative Forum, see every post from 2001 or further back. Look, you can go to the search bar at the top, type in what you want to find tons of threads on it, type in the poster's name, find out all their posts. It works a lot better, on downtown than anywhere else. So social media in downtown in particular really helps one connect with one another in similar situations. One never having to practice alone again really does mean something. As one who did practice alone for most of my career, I can really attest that it makes a big difference. There's a couple quotes on downtown recently that I want to read to you, that I feel it's the way I feel. I love coming on to downtown and being inspired to improve my skills. I have seriously improved all aspects of my dentistry due to some post or thread on downtown. I've made some good friends on downtown that I run into at some of the CE courses I attend, and every one of them, if I feel, tells me how much better looking I am in person than they thought I would be from knowing me on the message board. I could totally relate to that. I mean, all week long at this Townie meeting, I go, oh my God. Never mind. Big picture-wise, downtown is a great resource for all of us wet-fingered docs out in the trenches. It has helped me connect with like-minded types from across the country I never would have met otherwise. Dentistry before downtown was a very isolated profession. Downtown is the best. Since happening onto the site in 2001, downtown has nothing but a positive effect on my career, more so than any facet of organized dentistry, including the ADA, AGD, state, and local components. Without a doubt, the moderation on downtown has been consistent in application and fairness. Well, actually, I just put that last sentence in. He didn't really say that. Please, I had to do that. So, conclusion, yes, I am a cheerleader for downtown. I admit it. It changed my life as a wet-fingered dentist in ways that wasn't possible before I discovered Dentaltown. It felt good not to practice alone anymore. I am proud to work for a company that has such a positive effect on so many dental professionals from around the world. I call that effect the Dentaltown effect. Thank you.